Hey everyone, Conrad Meyer here, CEO and the founder of Healthy and Holy. Basically, we believe that balance breaks through barriers. And that sounds kind of funny. It reminds me like Dwight in The Office when he's like, Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Anyways, that was Jim. But anyways, back to the point. I just believe that balance really does help. Living a balanced life helps us in many areas. So if we're balanced spiritually and physically, I know a lot of people that are physically in shape but spiritually way out of shape, meaning that their heart's not probably where it should be in certain areas. They have impure motives at times. They can be kind of deceiving, and while that may work for immediate moving ahead, it doesn't work in the long run. And so that's just a little bit, just a little snippet kind of what we're about. We really want to talk about a balance of taking care of ourselves and both spiritually and physically. And that brings me kind of to where the vision, where the even idea for Healthy and Holy came from. And I was wrestling, because I'm a full-time youth minister, I was wrestling with this idea of ministry beyond where I am. I want ministry to go further than where I am every day. I'm in Beaufort, South Carolina, but I would love to be able to reach across the globe or even across the United States, if that's where it starts, in the obedience of the Lord, letting Him bring the blessing. But anyways, here's where this all came from. The shirt that I'm wearing right here is one of the shirts we offer. It says eternity. This has a lot of sentimental meaning to me, because there was a message I heard years ago about a man named Arthur Malcolm Stace. He lived a pretty long life, but he passed away in 1967. And he was obedient to the Lord in this way. So first off, before he got saved, he was an alcoholic. Okay, he was homeless. He was down on his luck, whatever you want to call it. He was illiterate, had a lot of issues. He ends up getting saved, and his act of obedience is to scribble with chalk the word eternity. And he started with a certain way, and then over the years that kind of got defaced by somebody, and instead of eternity, they wrote maternity. And so when that thing was defaced, he asked the Lord, like, what is a better way to do this? And he came up with this swooping E, and this is the actual script. It looks just like what they have in Australia, where he lived, in Sydney, Australia. And here's the really cool thing. So he died in 1967, but in the year 2000, at the Sydney Olympics, at the Olympics in Sydney, Australia, they hung the word eternity just like this from the bridge in Sydney. And the message that I heard a long time ago about that is our one act of obedience can reach the world. And so I have a question for you. If it comes to being healthy and holy, what is the one act of obedience that God is calling you to? Considering the Word tells us to take care of the temples, to not deface God's temples. What does that look like for you? If our body is a temple, how can you take better care of the temple which God has entrusted to you, or the vessel which God has entrusted to you, which He desires to be used for good works? What is the one act of obedience that you could start with today to help you be prepared for possibly one day the message that God places on your heart reaching the whole world? For me, it's doing a clothing line that's going to offer fitness plans. It's going to offer spiritually and physically centered fitness plans. We want to see you grow spiritually and physically. That way you can be at your best mode, which is another shirt I'll be discussing soon.